Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Oh, that's just it, being able to connect with fans and go to places that, some places that don't get a chance to come down to Milwaukee very much. And we've got some great fans up there, and it's been very educational for me to learn more about who these people are. I look at it like these people are so committed to each other, and they're so committed to their state, and they love their sports teams, So it's like, wow, I get it. Like, it's one big team in the state of Wisconsin, and I just love it. So.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy, prior to his final stop on the statewide Pat Murphy tour here in Green Bay. And boy, do I have some stories to share from that. That was outstanding. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Yeah, Murph is a real comical dude. If this whole baseball thing doesn't work out from him, stand-up comedy real quick.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Just as long as the players keep answering his FaceTime. Funny. So funny. 700-ish people there last night at Epic in Green Bay. Somebody told me 1,200 at the venue. I mean, last night was sold out. 1,200 something, I think, at the venue in Wausau the night before, sold out. That was Murph talking in a little presser that he did prior to the event last night. His boys in arms. If you've ever watched a post-game press conference for the Brewers, you'll see his two young boys sitting there with him. They were along for the ride last night. He's toting what was it? The big cup from Quick Trip, where you go up and get a fountain soda.
Yeah, Mega Buddy, yeah.
Yeah, Mega. I love that you know the word. Oh, yeah, Mega Buddy. I know exactly
of course.
what you're talking
Come on.
All right, let's play catch-up. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, anything else? Trevon Diggs, Packers, he got released yesterday. The question is now, obviously this is a financial decision because there was no way he was going to get paid what he was owed from his previous contract. I wonder if we go after him and try to renegotiate a deal and keep him happy, kind of like Rodgers and Randall Cobb. You might remember he forced the signing of Randall Cobb, at least. Oh, no, it wasn't forced. Yeah, it was. It was 100% forced. So what are your thoughts, Josh, on Trevon Diggs? Do we figure out how to renegotiate and just bring him back to keep Micah Parsons happy? If that, I don't know if it's needed, but it would certainly be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think that Micah is that type of player, but I don't know him well enough, I guess, to say that confidently. I do. I guess I don't really care. Like, I look at Nixon and the rest of the secondary, and if you put Diggs in there, I don't feel much better about it. I'm more frustrated about the fact that trying to find a reason. Why the hell did we bring him in? One snap. He was in for one snap. What was it? Just so that we could say, hey, before you test, the open market, let us show you what our facility's like. I mean,
it was a $500,000 rental.
$500,000 tour of Lambeau is more like it.
Yeah, well, again, that's one of those things, right? We have a star player in Micah Parsons. He immediately went on social media and was super jacked that Trevon Diggs was in Green Bay.
Yep.
They are a tandem. We know a lot about culture. We talk a lot about culture. We know how much friendship matters and keeping things yin and yang. It was probably a good investment for the Packers. There's high likelihood that they're already talking to him. Very likely that he's going to claim waivers, meaning there's really no team out there that's like, yeah, we'll definitely pay you what your old contract said that you were owed. And then he'll be right back in Green Bay. I fully expect him to be a Packer this coming season. At what cost? No idea.
Does that excite you, though?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Anything to shake up the backfield. I hear you, realisticness.
Thank you.
Your realismness. And I trump you optimism in that there's nothing bad that can happen by adding a player to the team like Trevon Diggs. It's an upgrade from some of the guys we have back there now.
That's true.
It's certainly more consistent in terms of play and, and the level of play that we know he's capable of having. And sometimes, kind of like changing the voice and leadership, sometimes change is just worth it. And that really bounces guys back. We see it all the time in baseball where a guy's in a slump at one team, he gets traded or released, he signs with another team. Look at Vaughn. Great example. Andrew Vaughn, who was apparently FaceTimed by Pat Murphy on this little tour and asked live if he was going to shave his head.
Oh.
Yeah. Get rid of the comb over.
Wow.
Yeah. Amongst other things that these players were asked on a hot stove edition of Pat Murphy and a tour here in the state of Wisconsin. I think the Packers are better with Diggs, and we'll see if we get him back. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. The 262 says Diggs is better than Nixon.
Hard to argue that.
Yep,
right.
pretty much.
And I've seen him play one snap. I just think the difference is Vaughn, if you're making that comparison, it's the age. It's the age thing with Diggs, right? And so how old is Diggs? I don't know. But I know that.
How old's Vaughn?
No, I'm saying like Vaughn wasn't like a veteran in the league, right? Like Diggs adds that leadership as well, right? So I'm saying like that's a positive that I think when the Brewers brought Vaughn in, they were bringing him purely to say, hey, I think we see something here that no one else has and that the White Sox didn't, and that we can do something here. I mean, even if Diggs can be a leader for the quote unquote for the 17th year in a row youngest team in the NFL, I mean that's a plus too. So in that regard, I'm not upset. I won't be upset if he comes back, if the Packers bring him back. I just don't think that that's going to be the end of it. I expect Goody to be more aggressive beyond Diggs of trying to do something with the secondary.
The 920 says he was probably our best DB. Hopefully he's back. Otherwise, it's going to be some wasted Goody draft picks on defensive backs. The 262 also says he's 27, Diggs is. How is that old?
Yeah, I'm saying like in the league, like he brings a veteran leadership. Like he has that as a quality. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. I'm not looking at it like that being the reason why I'm saying he's past his prime or anything. I'm hoping that he can show that everything that the Cowboys fans were saying when he left isn't true, and that he can still ball out, assuming that he even comes back. Again, we don't even know for certain that he's going to be in Green Bay, but I do hope you're right about that.
That's the story. We'll see if he lands back on the Packers this offseason. The 262, 30 seconds into the show, and Trevor's already taking a shot at Rodgers, a tale as old as time. Did I take a shot at Rodgers, or was I just being honest that the Packers signed Randall Cobb because Rodgers made them?
Yeah.
That's not a shot at Rodgers.
Sorry, folks, that's realism.
The truth.
Yep.
Heaven forbid I spend 37 seconds in the world. See what happens?
Yeah.
See?
I know.
I get realistic for 2 seconds.
Everything goes to hell.
I don't like it. I'm out. I'm out of this spot. Back to optimism. The Brewers. Whoa. Okay, whoa.
Yeah.
Last night was absolutely incredible. And what made it incredible is how incredible of a person Pat Murphy is. He's just an incredible man and leader and voice and dad and community member. When he says, as we heard in that open, that he really loves what he's seen in this statewide tour. Milwaukee, La Crosse, Wausau, Eau Claire. I mean, the list goes on of all of these places that he stopped. Last one here in Green Bay last night. My family and I went out to see him, got to chat with him beforehand. That's where that audio came from. It was a quick, I better record this. I might want to record this.
Yeah, good job. Thank you.
That was the first answer he gave, and then I shut it down. He got to tour Lambeau. I mean, he's a football guy at heart, so he was just overjoyed. He talked about the Freddie Peralta trade. It's happening.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. So he didn't come out and say, here's how we're going to trade, when we're going to trade, and what we're looking for. But he compared the situation that we are in with the Brewers and Freddie Peralta to Willy Adames. Josh, what did we get for Willy Adames?
Nothing. We didn't trade.
That's not happening again.
Oh, okay.
That's what Murph said. It would behoove us not to be having these conversations, knowing full well that He even dropped the number. He thinks Freddie's going to get well over $150 million in his next contract. I don't know if you look at how much the Brewers are able to spend in their payroll, but it's not that. And they know that. And they know that it needs to bring something back to the team. Therefore, he was real honest last night. And he was also honest in saying that that's going to be a really hard day because nobody wears the M and the B as well as Freddie Peralta does. And that's actually going to be an emotional day for Pat Murphy. He literally said this will be his 11th season, I believe, as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers managerial coaching staff.
Yep.
He has watched every single pitch that Freddie Peralta has ever thrown. And that's insane to think that, like, that's the truth. Wow. If you think back to that once, wow, that's actually really true. That's going to be a hard day for him when Freddie Peralta moves on. But based on what Murph said last night, without breaking news of any specific information, let's just all not be surprised when this happens. And hopefully we get a big old bag of something in return.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think anyone would be surprised when the time comes that Freddie's no longer a Milwaukee Brewer. I do think that people are going to be surprised and honestly unhappy when he's traded. I don't know what they're going to get for him, but I'm sure right off the bat it's going to be, that's it? We got these two guys? We got, without knowing. And to be honest with you, I don't expect Murph to have those answers. I'd love to know how often, Murph is talking to the front office and they're having conversations about moves and trades. But when I asked him, when we had him on the show, kind of just about how he handles all the offseason talk, he kind of said, like, I don't worry about it until, you learn to not worry about it until it's here. And so I don't expect him to be hiding information when he was asked that question. I don't think he knows. I think he figures, like all of us should, the Brewers can't afford Freddie Peralta, plain and simple. And when that day happens, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But I don't expect him to have any idea what the Brewers are thinking about certain packages they're throwing together or any of that.
He gave the impression that he's definitely a part of the conversation.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's up to speed on that. Him and Matt Arnold talk all the time. As a matter of fact, he joked that when Matt Arnold's phone number comes up on the phone, he's like, crap. What does he want now?
Yeah. Yeah, right. So it's the other way around. Matt Arnold's going to him. He's not going to Matt.
He also talked about how nervous players get when Pat Murphy or Matt Arnold call them out of the blue. And so what did Murph dedicate time to every single stop he made on this tour? Calling a random Brewer just to make him sweat. And that whole make him sweat thing took a turn last night that nobody saw coming. They called Joey Ortiz. FaceTime Joey Ortiz towards the end of the program. And Joey Ortiz was in his undies in the sauna.
Oh, okay.
Can't make it up.
But it's
hey Murph.
But it's Murph calling.
Yeah, it's Murph. Got to answer that. So he jumps out of the sauna. Here he is, and the first words out of Murph's mouth were, "You wearing clothes, bro?" Literally live on stage talking to Joey Ortiz. Joey Ortiz made sure that he passed along a message to everyone in the state of Wisconsin. Quote, "You're going to get a lot more hits out of me." End quote. To which everybody in the audience, under their breath, went, "Yes, please."
Yeah, I was going to say, what was the reaction?
It was crickets, yet everybody knew, like, you definitely needed to say
crickets?
That. I mean, there was no, it was like, of course, that'd be great.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I was like, please tell me
but
people
nobody
applauded.
Was like, thank God.
Right. But if it was literally, if he said that and the room is silent, woof, that is awkward. Sure, bud.
Yeah, it was right towards the end. Hopefully all those, he literally is talking to him. I think I can say this because Murph was talking to him like an old man on the FaceTime. Like he's holding it way up to his face.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, why don't you have any clothes on, bro? What's going on?
Hey, you don't have to hold the phone against your nose.
Yeah. And he was holding the microphone in like the middle of the phone instead of, hey, bud, hey, man,
where the mic
what's going on? Somebody in the front row asked him where his grandkids were. Take one guess how that went over.
Not great.
Those aren't his grandkids, bud.
Yeah. So he didn't know.
So he also FaceTimed Caleb Durbin. And unfortunately, this one was a setup. Caleb Durbin was actually in Fond du Lac last night with the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. He played there, Northwoods League, standout for the Brewers, obviously at third base. He was in familiar territory on Tuesday night, an invite-only event at the Fond du Lac Beer Company. It was highlighting the rapid rise of him, as well as just giving back to the community that meant so much. And out of the blue, finger quotes, Caleb Durbin picked up a phone call from Pat Murphy, and there was a video that came out with what this looked like on both sides. Yes. It was actually really interesting. Here's a little bit of audio from that.
Say hi to your fans in Green Bay. You're a Packers fan, aren't you?
What's that? Fond du Lac, yeah, Fond du Lac.
But that's what I have to deal with every day. I said you're a Packers fan, aren't you?
Yeah, Fond du Lac. Yeah, go Pack, go.
If you want to bring down the room, just a little Go Pack Go will do it every time. Murph dropped 3 one-liners that he kind of opened up that chat with, knowing full well that Durbin was at his own event in Fondy, and whatever Murphy said was over the mic at Durbin's event, and whatever Durbin said was over the mic at Murphy's event. Fantastic planning. But the best part was the first thing Durbin said when Murphy FaceTimed him was, "Murph, you're late. You're late, man." Well, here, there must have been a time when they were trying to plan on this, and Murphy lost track of time. I don't know if that's how you answer a phone call from your manager, but dude, you're late. What's going on? You're late.
Yeah. Murph might make him pay for that. He might pay for that comment later. He has the ability.
Murphy said that Durbin is one of the guys and that this squad has a group of guys. He said that there are 2 things that the team and he require, and one of them is awareness. And I thought that was very fascinating. If you're not a team guy and aware, you're out. And so he really is the message out there of you guys need to be excited about these guys because we're excited about these guys. It was awesome to see him. And he says hi to all of us as well, and that it was really fun joining the show last week. So I said, well, don't be a stranger. How about we do that again sometime
come
soon?
on back. The 414 asked really quick here, did he talk about counsel at all? Apparently when he was in Brookfield here, he said he was with Craig when the Bregman deal went down with the Cubs, and that Craig and Jed were giddy. He knew something was up. That from Jeff in Fox Point.
So Murph doesn't feel the way we feel about Craig Counsell.
Right.
Remember, if Murph wouldn't have gotten the managerial job for the Brewers, he'd be wearing the Cubs uniform. He was, hey, man, I'm either staying here and we're going to do this thing, or I'm going to go to Chicago. But Murph has been very clear that he never attempted to get the manager job in Milwaukee. It was just a matter-of-fact thing. It came up a little bit. Somebody asked a question about how good it felt to beat the Cubs in the playoffs and how was Game 5. And when Counsell's name got dropped, the crowd was like, and Murph was like, come on, like, relax. Yeah. So nothing specific about Counsell and the history and any of that stuff. All right, we're playing catch-up. Packers, Brewers, Badgers tomorrow night at Penn State. More on how that team shakes out in the Big Ten in today's most electrifying sound of the day. That's coming up. The Oklahoma City Thunder are in town tonight at the Fiserv, 8:30. Giannis, though, after the game, made a little news the other day. It felt like he was speaking in hieroglyphics. Listen to this question he got in the postgame presser.
How confident are you you'll finish the season with the Bucks?
I don't know. I take it day by day.
Okay, what?
I mean, I'm not. How many times is he going to get asked that question?
I mean, well, until something.
Time.
Yeah.
Until
as he should expect to be, by the way.
Right.
I take it day by day.
Yeah.
Us too, bud. The head coach of GB men's basketball, Doug Gottlieb, will join us at 8 a.m. GB will be at Youngstown State tomorrow, 6:30 tip over there. What else we got going on? Marquette. When do they play next? Friday at Butler, 7 o'clock. How about UW Milwaukee? Do we know where they're at? game. No game Thursday, 122 at Robert Morris. That's good. Badgers, Packers, Brewers, Bucks, other. I think you're caught up, Wisconsin.
We got him.
When we come back, we have questions, and we know you do too. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Message us now. Let us know what's on your mind, what questions you may have in the world of Wisconsin sports. And as we do every day, we'll have a few questions of our own, and we will answer yours and very likely make up whatever it is that you want to know. But boy, will it be entertaining. That we'll promise you. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, off and running on a Wednesday, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Good morning, Wisconsin. Welcome back, Wisconsin, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Remember, if you miss any portion of today's show or a different show, maybe you're looking for an interview, Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Maybe you're looking for an interview with UW River Falls football head coach Matt Walker. Good news, we have chatted with him. It happened on January 16th, last week. You can open up your podcast platform, search Inside Wisconsin Sports, and look for the show from the 16th. You'll be able to find the interview there. UW River Falls Stag Bowl Division III national champion head coach Matt Walker. We chatted with him last week. You can find it there on the podcast platform. Right now, we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250. You can call us. You can text us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. What questions do you have for us this morning? Here is one we have for you, Josh. If you could pick one player to have an injury-free career from this point forward, any sport, any position, any player, likely a Wisconsin team, if you can only pick one player to have an injury-free career from this point forward, who would it be?
So you're asking the question in terms of that's currently playing, person that's currently playing, stay injury-free the rest of their career?
The idea is from this point in their career forward. So yes, that would mean that they have to be an active participant in a career.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two ways to view this question. If it's just currently playing and wanting them to stay healthy the rest of their career, it's Jordan Love. For me, it's Jordan Love. And wanting Jordan Love to stay healthy. And I think maybe part of that too is, I could be wrong, but I feel like Jordan Love has missed more time than for sure than Favre, but then Rodgers. I know that Rodgers obviously had the collarbone issues a few different times, but I would say Jordan Love. Yeah. I mean, Packers are committed to him. This Malik Willis talk is done and stupid. He's going to be gone. I would like to we got very lucky having Jordan Love or having Malik Willis as the backup for Jordan Love. I don't want to have to worry about that anymore.
We're going to have a long conversation about the Packers' injury woes or lack thereof. Was it really as bad as it seemed? We're doing that in the morning mind dump coming up at 7 o'clock. The question now, if you could pick one player that you want to have an injury-free career from this point forward, who would it be and why? Josh chooses Jordan Love for fairly obvious reasons. Mine may surprise you. Mine is Brandon Woodruff.
Okay. Go on.
He's probably one of my top 5 favorite Brewers of all time. And the guy has not had a season without going on the injured list since 2021. And yet here he is still grinding through, trying to do everything he can to support and help this Brewers team be something special. In 2021, he was good, but 2022 is when the woes started. He actually went on the 15-day IL in 22 with the right ankle sprain. And then 2023, multiple injuries, multiple times on the IL between 23 and 25. He had shoulder surgery. He had other shoulder injuries. We might remember last year he got beamed from the mound, meaning a hot heater came back and smoked him. And it's like, geez, this guy can't catch a break. Left oblique strain, right ankle sprain, right shoulder inflammation. Either the guy's just getting old or he's just had horrible luck. So if there's one person that I could choose to have a very injury-free career from this point forward, and whether after this year he's in Milwaukee with the Brewers or not, fairly Doesn't matter to me. I just want the guy to be scot-free from this point forward. Woody's one of the good ones, man.
See, and so that's what's interesting about the question is that if I was going back and just saying throughout their career, if I could go back in time and say, give me an athlete from Wisconsin sports history that I wish would have never have gotten injured and could have had an injury-free career, then I might have gone with Brandon Woodruff because we really needed him in big spots, and then he got injured. I might go with David Bakhtiari when the Packers really needed him and he got injured. You can go Giannis or Middleton, or we never got to see that big three back together after the 2021 season in the playoffs. Plenty of scenarios and situations that if you went back in time, you could say, man, everything changed when that guy went down. I don't know, maybe Micah Parsons might be one. Now, Micah Parsons also qualifies to the question now of staying healthy the rest of their career. The reason why I can't go necessarily with Brandon Woodruff, though, is that I'm looking at, I don't think Brandon Woodruff's back after this year either. And so I totally get your sentiment and saying, even if
you're
he's
being
not a
selfish.
Brewer,
You're being selfish.
I'm being selfish. Absolutely. I'm being selfish and saying it matters to me that they're playing for my team. Kristen Littleshoot on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line says, Jackson Churio, I would love if he could stay healthy all of his career and hopefully have that career be with the Brewers.
Yeah, that one crossed my mind. Had the hammy issue this last year, obviously. Murph talked about him a little bit last night at the event here in Green Bay on his statewide tour, which wrapped up last night. He's a special one. You might remember, though, I think it was last year, he was sent down to Nashville, AAA, on a rehab assignment to help bring this hamstring back to life and give him the time it took. On that rehab assignment, he went 1 for 18 with 15 strikeouts. And the front office called Murph and was like, we're not bringing him back yet. He's not ready. And Murph said, bring him back. We need him back. If he's ready physically and mentally, then we got to get him back with the team. So he joined the team when they were on a road trip in Toronto. Murph said in the locker room, and remember, his nickname is Jack Jack. He's got a nickname for all these guys. He couldn't find Joey Ortiz's number in his phone last night because he had him in there as Tito, which apparently is Joey Ortiz's nickname. Oh, got him in there as Tito. Couldn't find him. Jack Jack, welcome back, Jack Jack. Thanks for coming back to the Brewers. You're healthy now. Boys, let me tell you about his rehab. Jack Jack, 1 for 18 with 15 strikeouts. That a boy, Jack Jack. Welcome back, buddy. You imagine?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He did not look healthy in the playoffs. No. That's a good take. Amy.
Yeah.
Josh, it's not Giannis. Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I just, if the question is, I have one player going forward, not from the start of their career, not going back in time, but from today forward could guarantee, I just don't know that the Bucks or Giannis in general are, like, even if Giannis stays healthy and never has another injury, I'm doubting what the Bucks can truly put together as an organization with the fact that Giannis is getting older to have him and the team be legitimately competitive. There's a lot of moves that the Bucks organization have to make beyond just keeping Giannis healthy. And so if I only had one, I still think that there's a larger championship window in Green Bay. But if Jordan Love's not healthy, that window closes.
Jackson Churio gets another vote for the question this morning in the I Have Questions portion of the show. If you could only pick one player to have an injury-free career from this point forward, who would it be? The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. Shoot us a text. Give us a call. Christian Yelich gets a vote from somebody else in the 920. The 262 says Christian Watson would be mine.
That's a good one, too.
Going back, if we could yesteryear choose somebody not to get injured, the 920 says Nick Collins.
Yeah.
Man, a career cut too short, and he was unbelievable.
Yep.
Chad in the 414 says definitely Jordan Love. Need him to start every game. Seems to be out a game or two every year.
Yeah,
that's a fair argument.
Thank you, Chad. That's what I'm saying. Like, doesn't it? I don't know factually that based on the amount of games over the tenure that Aaron Rodgers probably missed more games, but it seems like in the time that we've had Jordan Love as a starter, he has missed a decent amount of games. We've needed to rely on a backup. We just don't remember those games as negatively because Malik Willis won those games. So we were okay. I agree with you, Chad.
The 920 with a question that we're going to cover at 7:45 today. The Packers are hiring their fourth defensive coordinator in 8 years. Is that correct? Is that normal? I think they should hire Raheem Morris. So in case LaFleur falls again, we have a former head coach in place. We're actually going to talk about that at 7:45 today. How do the Packers and Matt LaFleur decide on when to move on from a coach and when not to? And does the timing of all of that bother us? 7:45, but I don't think you're wrong. Raheem Morris is definitely in the mix, but so too are a bunch of other names that have already been reported to be here in Green Bay interviewing or on their way to. So far, Aaron Nagler is nailing this thing. If you missed our chat with him yesterday, go back and find that on the podcast. He put out a list of 7 names that he thought were going to be in the mix to be the next defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. And right now he is 2 for 2.
Yeah, which is exactly why he also said it'll probably not be any of the guys on this list because that's what the Packers do. So it could be that as well. We know how the Packers organization works.
The most electrifying sound of the day is next. It involves Big Ten basketball. Those Badgers are on something. They didn't play, but another 2 or 3 teams did. We'll play a sound for you there and talk about where the Badgers stack up. Jacob in a van, before we go to the break, says, let me get back in that Back to the Future time machine. And Sterling Sharp would be somebody that I would choose to have an injury-free career.
Yeah. Yep.
And yet still made the Hall of Fame. About time.
True. Very true.
Ryan Braun? Not so much. We'll talk about that later in the show, too, at some point. 15 votes, I think he got on the first ballot. Shout out to Tommy Wartz, who called me out for that at 5:56 last night in the recap show that he does. Don't miss the show tonight, the Hot Stove Weekly, featuring Brewers pitching coach Chris Hook, 6:30. Don't miss it. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz, this evening, 5 to 7, Hot Stove Weekly on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Packers plan that injuries won't happen again, per Josh, not good enough. We'll have that conversation coming up in the morning mind dump. If there's things you got to get off your chest or you have some input on that very topic, shoot us a text, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Wrapping up the conversation of if you had a time machine and go back, who would you want to have an injury-free career? Or the original question, if you could choose a Wisconsin sports player on any of our teams from this point forward, who would you want to have an injury-free career from now until whenever they're done playing? Jabari Parker says Ken in River West.
Yeah. That was a big one. I mean, he was like, when the Bucks were going to get that pick and he came in, it was the shining light before Giannis of, hey, this could be something, and he could just not stay healthy.
Coming up at 7:45, we're also going to have the conversation. We just talked about that, about how the Packers and Matt LaFleur decide on when to move on from coaches and when not to, and if that timing bothers us. Some names are out there for the defensive coordinator position. Barry Alvarez said on his show out of Madison that the best coach out there is who they got to go get, and Matt LaFleur needs to go get Jim Leonard. Justin from the Port agrees. What say you? We'll talk about that at 7:45. Right now, on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, time for the most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
10,000 on their feet here at Pauley Pavilion. Bilodeau back to Dent. Inside of 10 on the timer. Bilodeau! He got it! Timeout Purdue. The Bruins in front with 6.6 to go. Here comes the All-American Braden Smith. Gives it up. Cox does not get the bounce. And the Bruins down the Boilers and hand them their second loss of the season.
And that exciting finish with Brandon Gaudin on the call there on Peacock of UCLA, upsetting Purdue in some Big Ten action, is our most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I saw, first of all, exciting game. The more highlights I see of stuff like that, I'm getting more and more amped for March. I love the tournament so much. It's so great. But it had me thinking, like, we talked to Doug Gottlieb. We got two teams in the Horizon League. And then you watch a team like Purdue get their second loss of the year to UCLA. And it had me going and looking at the standings in the Big Ten. And I realized I almost never go and look at the standings in the Big Ten when it comes to men's basketball, because there's like 7 teams that are going to make it. And it just is so much more focused on quad 1 wins and all these other things. And it doesn't, the actual record, right, doesn't play into it as much. Nebraska, did you know that Nebraska was the number 1 in first place?
Yeah,
Big Ten?
They're completely undefeated. They're in the top 5 in the country, undefeated. My guy Darren Stewart would be so disappointed that you didn't know that. Huge Nebraska fan. All about the Huskers. They're killing it right now.
Did you know that they are ranked lower than Purdue and Michigan?
Yeah, they're still undefeated though. It's about tier wins, like you just said.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's just such a different dynamic. It's as a casual fan of college basketball, it's just crazy to me how we can look at teams differently. And we've been watching Wisconsin play great basketball. Been excited about it.
Yeah, Jonathan Blackwell was the Big Ten Player of the Week last week.
Yeah. Badgers are 5-2 in conference play. 13-5. They are, they're 6 teams ahead of them in the Big Ten. I didn't think that, worry about that, even know that. I was just like, oh yeah, the Badgers are doing good. It's going to come down to how they play in the conference championship in the tournament. to find out what seed they get in the March Madness tournament. That's where my brain's at. I'm not looking at the fact that Nebraska hasn't lost a game yet, or the fact that, Purdue is only lost one game in conference. Like, all of those things just don't cross my mind.
The Badgers, though, at 13-5 overall, 5-2 in the Big Ten, tomorrow night at Penn State. This is the time of year where you need to be on a heater. It's late January. You don't have time to recover from a skid. The Badgers are on a 4-game win streak, and we can't drop games like this at Penn State. That's a big no-no. Whether it's those Penn State, Northwestern type of games, the lower half of the Big Ten in terms of the standing. Minnesota is 3-5 in conference. Taking them to a buzzer beater was a little disappointing because that's a team we should absolutely roll against.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Rutgers at Penn State. Big win against Michigan. The Badgers are doing well, 13-5. To your point, unless something collapses, they'll make the NCAA tournament, which is not something we should take for granted anymore.
Correct.
But on the flip side of that, they still have time too. So if they're not quite the team that we would expect them to be, or they need to be before the tournament comes around, there's still time, but they can't skid either. No different than UWGB, went on a bit of a run there, I believe, 5 in a row, lost a tough one on Sunday to Oakland. At Youngstown State tomorrow night, there's still time to recover from that, but pause. The fact that we're even having a conversation that UW Green Bay, in comparison to the Big Ten, is in the top tier of the Horizon League is
right.
Also a story.
But that's what I'm saying. We talk about being a fan and where the expectations are, moving the goalposts. If you're a fan of UWGB, it is all about what they can do in the Horizon League. Winning the Horizon League would be huge for a UWGB program. The Badgers in the Big Ten, I feel like you're not looking at these standings. You're not worrying about getting that banner up. You're going, yeah, we're all just playing for quad 1 wins to see how this all shakes out and at the end of March.
I don't think players feel that way, though. I think championship banners are championship banners. So the guys are given everything they've got, Captain, to do their best in the Big Ten in the regular season and take that pride into the Big Ten tournament. But unlike the mid-major programs, the Horizon Leagues and those of the like,
mm-hmm.
they're going to get more than one team in the tournament, clearly. To Josh's point, 7-ish, most likely, 6, 8 sometimes. They're all coming out of the Big Ten and going to make the tournament regardless of how they do in the postseason tournament, if you will. But nonetheless, the Badgers are on one. Make sure you catch them at Penn State tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. 5-2 in conference, 13-5 overall. We'll have to check back in with our guy. What's his title?
The assistant to the assistant manager,
the head coach in water something. Brad Davison, that Brad. We'll check in with him. Maybe we'll try to FaceTime him on Friday again. On Friday, 8 a.m. Speaking of Badgers, Joe Thomas jumps back on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We'll chat with him about the state of the program and what he thinks about the way that the national championship shook out. Indiana? For real? And should Wisconsin have hope? We're going to talk to Joe Thomas on Friday at 8 a.m. here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Up next, it's the Morning Mind Dump, the Hump Day edition of the Morning Mind Dump. Planning that injuries won't happen again is not good enough. That's the feeling Josh has going into this season. Why aren't we doing more in terms of change so that we don't have to just plan on not having injuries? We'll talk about that next, plus whatever you got to get off your chest. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin?
It's time for today's fan weather forecast, brought to you by Habish and Rotier. It's going to be a cloudy day today with a high of 26. It's currently 19 here in Milwaukee. A little bit warmer than we should see in the next coming days. Enjoy it. This has been your Habish and Rotier fan weather forecast.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Oh, that's just it. You know, being able to connect with fans and go to places that some places that don't get a chance to come down to Milwaukee very much. And we've got some great fans up there, and it's been very educational for me to learn more about who these people are. You know, I look at it like these people are so committed to each other, and they're so committed to their state, and they love their sports teams, you know? So it's like, wow, I get it. Like, it's one big team in the state of Wisconsin, and I just love it. So.
One big team here in the state of Wisconsin. That's how we feel every day on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. What's up, Wausau? You got some Pat Murphy in your life a few nights ago. Green Bay, Fox Valley, Duluth Superior chimed in earlier and said, hey, you missed a few. We're up here too. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Brookfield. Good morning to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Inside Wisconsin Sports is on your radio. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we are live on YouTube and Twitter at WI Sports Radio. Follow Josh and I there at Trevor Thomas IW at On Air Josh. You'll see that video that audio came from there on my Twitter. We took it last night here in Green Bay. Pat Murphy, and flanked by his kids, addressing all the things that he has come to know and love as he toured the state of Wisconsin over the last week. Big old family we are here in Wisconsin. Somebody on my Twitter, Josh, was like, well, of course we're all a one big family. There's only one baseball team. You're missing it.
Yeah, you're missing the point there, bud. It's more than just a baseball team. That's the point.
That Wisconsin patriotism.
Right.
Zealous
fans of all the Wisconsin teams.
Sorry to have to explain that.
Yeah. That happens. It's okay.
Josh, I need you to explain what in the world we're talking about here in the morning mind dump. Planning that injuries won't happen again is not good enough. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line is open for you. 414-677-1250. What do you got to get off your chest and out of your head? Now is the time.
I have voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Don't carry this stuff with you all day long. Get it off your chest and out of your head. Just dump it on us. We can handle it most of the time.
Yeah, say we'll see.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Josh, what do you got to get off your chest this morning?
Yeah, so Trevor and I were talking. I was like, listen, one of the beautiful things about the Morning Mind Dump is that it allows all of you listening and Trevor and myself as well to get things off our chest when we're frustrated or just need answers. We need someone to kind of tell us what we're missing in regards to something in the world of Wisconsin sports. I need to talk about how often this Packers organization, fan base, everyone, we're all going towards the injuries being the problem in last year's season for the Packers that is now over and going forward with this team. So obviously just so many injuries for the Packers, so many, and not just injuries, but critical injuries from your most talented, most needed players. Right? Obviously, that was huge. That hurt. That was the crux of the season. But we also were able to pinpoint and point out throughout the rest of the season mistakes that were made, people that weren't doing good enough, whether it be on the sidelines or on the field. We were able to. It was not every game. This team's getting blown out by 35, and we're going, well, what do you expect? Our best guys are injured. They were finding ways to be competitive enough and then not finishing. And we talked about that before, about this, do the Packers have a finishing problem? Then we saw Ed Policy announce that they want to bring Matt LaFleur back. The whole contract negotiation starts, and then they do indeed bring him back. Not only do the Packers bring back Matt LaFleur, but then it comes out very soon after that they're keeping the reporting hierarchy exactly as it is. Nothing is changing with who's making decisions or how the decisions are being made in Green Bay. Essentially, having a lot of people chalk it up to Ed Policy and the Packers organization have decided that the only reason why this team didn't make the Super Bowl was because of injuries, and we're going to run it back. And that frustrates me because I feel like that's not true. That you can't just, the same way, Trevor, that we talked about, and I said, you can't just have your game plan be, I hope that everything goes well, that hope isn't a good enough game plan. Doing everything, running it back exactly the same after analyzing everything that happened in that last Packer season isn't enough. I'm not satisfied with Ed Policy, Brian Gutekunst, making the decision, or I guess I should Ed Policy in general, making the decision, no, I want to keep everything exactly as it is, and just run this thing back and hope that we don't have key injuries. I live in the world of realism. I understand that injuries happen to every team. Injuries are going to happen to this Packers team next season too. Anyone who thinks the Packers aren't going to face injuries is crazy. There's going to be some. God forbid it's a big player. We won't have Malik Willis next year to back up Jordan Love. We talked about earlier in the show, and I have questions that I sure hope that Jordan Love, that's why I said I hope that Jordan Love can stay healthy for the rest of his career. Imagine if Jordan Love goes down, then what? The next year we're going, well, I mean, we lost our quarterback, So if we get him back, why would we change anything? Let's just run it back. Now we have Jordan Love healthy again. You can't just rely on injuries. And so I've been frustrated since the end of the season watching this Packers organization not only not change a voice like you and I have talked about, like you've wanted to maybe shake things up a little bit in Green Bay, but having everything be so consistent and stagnant and exactly the same is so frustrating. And the only thing I'm hearing as an excuse or reason is, well, but this Packers team, if healthy, would have done amazing things. So why not run it back exactly the same? How many different teams and organizations can say the exact same thing? Football has injuries. People get injured. You can't fully rely on that not happening. Okay. Thank you.
For a realistic person, you're not looking at the facts. The facts are it's not going to be the same. The news just broke over the weekend that Matt LaFleur was returning as head coach and all of the things that you just said. The news hasn't even had time to settle yet. And, poofy smoke, Jeff Hafley's out at D.C. There will be change in Green Bay. We just don't know what it's going to be yet. And so for a realistic person that lives in a realism world to say everything always, nothing never, and nothing's going to change, and I can't believe they're going to run it back the same way is so silly, Josh, because they're not. So much of this season will be different. Matt LaFleur came out and said it at the end of his season that everything is on the table in regards to how they need to look at the season and practice and training and who plays what position. And believe it or not, the Packers, this is going to be hard to swallow, are not an injury-prone team. This past year, they just happened to be really injured at really key positions. Jordan Love ruled out with a concussion and the shoulder injury from earlier in the year. Micah Parsons on the IR. Tucker Kraft on the IR. Elton Jenkins. You see where I'm going? John Fitzpatrick. Christian Welch. Yeah. Bo Melton. Tons of injuries.
I know.
And yet, not an injury-prone team whatsoever. There's a statistic in the NFL called adjusted games lost. It's how the NFL determines the healthiest teams. The Green Bay Packers in the Matt LaFleur era, in the Brian Gutekunst, Russ Ball, Matt LaFleur, love triangle of reporting structure era, has been consistently in the top half, if not the top 10 healthiest teams in all of the NFL. And those guys can only control so much. I thought it was very fascinating that just yesterday, a news sounder came out from a particular owner in New England who says, to hell with the preseason, we need more regular season games. Listen to this.
I think the biggest one that we're seeing now is rest and what athletes are
that's
asked
not the right
to
one,
do
Josh.
and
The other one.
perform and the amount of rest and recovery.
Sorry, going in order. Okay.
We'll go to 18-2, and eliminate one of the preseason games. And every team every year will play one game overseas. And part of the reason is so we can continue to grow the cap and keep our labor happy.
Huh? Happy? Keep our labor happy? By extending the season to 18 games and taking yet another preseason game? We've done this. And remember what Scotty Smith told us from Synergy Sports. It's all about rest.
Yes, that's true.
We have
I think the biggest one that we're seeing now is rest and what athletes are asked to do and perform and the amount of rest and recovery that they get in between. If you start talking about like mental fatigue of athletes too, right? We've discussed this with some parents and families. There's a reason that pilots and, airline pilots and truck drivers and stuff like that have logbooks, right? So that they're not behind the wheel. There's definitely a disconnect as well between the mind and the body. And if the mind isn't fresh to tell the body what to do, it's off the rails.
Off the rails. So the NFL is pushing for more games. The NFL owners are pushing for more games. And yet we know the NFL as a whole needs rest. The 608 on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Josh, name one team throughout NFL history that lost players that the caliber of Kraft, Jenkins, Parsons, Wyatt, among others, and still went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's Rhino.
100%. I'm not saying, again, that I'm discrediting the injuries. They are glaring. They are there. I'm saying I don't like that we are using that as 100% of the excuse of why the Packers failed this season, why they lost the last 5 games of the season, why they lost to the Bears in embarrassing fashion the 2 times they did. There are so many things. If you guys are just, I don't know, memories of a goldfish, go back. You can watch. We talk about it all the time. Podcast, a show. We talk about the frustrations that we saw in and out of every game. Trevor, you talked about how badly you didn't want Matt LaFleur to be.
Yeah, but Josh, you're connecting all of that to injuries, and that's what people aren't understanding, myself included. The 262 said, Josh, who's reporting that things aren't going to change up in Green Bay? Things are already changing.
Haven't changed. Not by the Packers.
Yes, they have.
What?
Yes, they have.
What has Ed Policy come out and said? Hey, we're making a move here.
They're already announced that Jeff Hafley is no longer the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers.
Chose to leave. That's a change that the Packers didn't make. The Bills lost and went, we need a change. We're getting rid of McDermott. We got to figure something out.
But that's the point, Josh. Who's reporting that nothing's going to change? That's where I think when you get fired up, buddy, you get real pessimistic because this is not realism.
Well,
to expect nothing to change in Green Bay is not realism.
I'm not saying that nothing is going to change.
Yes, you did.
I'm saying nothing has changed. I'm saying, are you listening? I'm saying nothing has changed that the Packers organization has done.
That's the most unrealistic thing I've ever heard you say.
What
there are already changes happening.
Tell me
in
what
Green
change
Bay.
Ed Policy has made so far. Tell me one thing.
Ed Policy isn't in charge of making changes on the team. He leaves that up to Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, and Russ Ball.
Okay, tell me what changes any of those three men have made so far.
Do you understand it's been 36 hours since that news broke over the weekend? Changes are coming, Josh. Changes will be made. As a matter of fact, do a little research on the history of the Green Bay Packers and change. Specifically to Jason in the 920, what are we doing or not doing with our training staff or practices that we got so injured last year? Matt LaFleur is constantly looking at the way the training staff is changing. Mike Ryan, the Packers' new team physician, is constantly looking at ways for things to change. In Matt LaFleur's tenure, they've changed the strength and conditioning program, the player health and performance program, the team physicians, the athletic trainers. Everything so far in regards to health and wellness has changed on a very regular basis for the Green Bay Packers. So I'm not sure why your expectation on, January 21st, after they just announced that they were keeping the staff in place, for there are no changes to be made. Buddy, pause, patience. There will be changes.
Let's go read some texts that are on my side of the argument here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. We got Nate in North Milwaukee that said the fact that no changes have been made is frustrating. No accountability is being held. Health didn't move Jenkins to center that he was terrible at. Health didn't blow a 21-3 lead. Health isn't the reason for lack of discipline and fundamental mistakes. Ed Policy, I expected more. 715 said, you have to remember it's a job, just a job to them. They are not fans. They're not emotionally involved. I appreciate that.
They're recognizing that as the pushing for 18 games. That's what they're saying. It's just a job. It's just a job to them. They're not fans. They're not emotionally involved. They look at the whole thing as a business.
715 in response to you saying, if we were going back and looking at history, why haven't we won more Super Bowls if we're one of the healthiest teams in the NFL? It's a fair point. Maybe because it doesn't all come down to health. Travis and Kenosha, then Josh, would you argue our depth of our players behind the ones are very subpar? Maybe. I don't know that I can really.
But I think that's the question. What do you want to? So we've talked about change in the coaching staff. We've talked about change in the front office. Ed Policy said, I'm going to leave it up to these three guys to decide on the way they're going to make changes, and they're all going to report to me. So the realist in me goes, all right, it's those three guys. So here we go. Right? Did I say we needed to move on from Matt LaFleur? 100% chance. And I still believe we need to move on from Rich Bisaccia. But at the end of the day, Matt LaFleur's here. Goody's here. Russ Ball is here. So the realistic me goes, all right, now let's flip to optimism and wait and see how this all shakes out. The NFL season isn't over. The NFC and AFC championship games are this weekend, and there's a lot of change that could potentially still happen.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
To say that
change could still happen. Yeah. I'm saying the decisions that have been made so far go completely against that. The changes that have happened so far from the Packers organization. I understand Jeff Hafley's not there anymore. I have Twitter. I do a morning radio show talking about sports. I saw the reports. I understand he's not there. There will be a change in defensive coordinator. That is not the Packers' choice. The Packers did not choose that. Jeff Hafley chose that. He said, I'm moving on. I'm taking a head coaching position. The Packers themselves have not made a change. 262. If the injuries were so bad that if the injuries were so bad, we shouldn't have had leads of 18 points and then lost the game. That's not injuries. That's poor coaching. I agree with Josh. They have made no changes to this point. Name one change they made. That's my point. I'm not saying that I will be furious if before training camp comes, no other changes are made. Rich Bisaccia is still there. Literally, the entire staff still there. What I'm saying is, to this point, the message that Ed Policy has put out to the fan base in his first year of making decisions is, hey, these injuries don't happen. The Packers are right there. So I'm not changing anything. I'm not touching anything. And I'm
to the
saying
top
that's
three.
not,
He's not changing the top three. He's leaving it up to the top three to make the changes. That's correct.
Correct. Yeah. And what I'm saying is, I don't know that I agree that what I've seen with that decision, what I've seen of the overall feeling after this season on the Packers is good enough that it was, hey, guys, I mean, come on, we had these injuries. Even if we didn't have the injuries, it didn't change the fact that Rashawn Gary played awful. It doesn't change the fact that multiple players on this Packers team gave up and weren't giving on plays and weren't giving 100%. There are way more things that went into this season than just injuries. And so what I'm saying is that as a fan, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing is all, we're running it back. And I'm going, you didn't play well enough to just be able to say we're running it back.
But don't you think it's an assumption at this point? Do you honestly, Josh, do you have the assumption that nothing is going to change in regard to the Packers staff? Do you honestly assume that?
I think that something will be done.
So
I don't know what, though.
Maybe that's what I'm not understanding, what's grinding your gears. It's literally been 2 days. I don't have an expectation that there's going to be change overnight. And I also don't expect that they're going to keep things the same. So right now, I'm just in the waiting game. They told us this is the way that the brass is going to be. Cool. And away we go. I think all Packer fans know and understand and would expect and assume that there's going to be some change. Jason Vrabel is making headlines as a potential OC down in Miami. And part of the conversation at 7:45 is, all right, so if there's going to be change, how do the Packers and Matt LaFleur decide on when to move on and when not to? And does the timing bother us? I think that that's a fair statement to say, that indeed the timing is probably the hardest thing to swallow.
All I'm saying is that when you look at other teams and organizations across the NFL landscape, you see the teams that are aggressive. You see the teams that make
Give me some examples of that, because how have teams that did not make changes in their head coaching position, in their general manager position, and in their director of football operations, how have those teams that made no changes at the top been aggressive? That's allowed you to have the opinion that you do of the Packers.
That's what I'm saying. They did make those changes at head coach. We
didn't. We didn't.
No, I understand. I'm saying the other teams have. Looking at the Ravens, the Bills, the Steelers, guys that the teams that made the decision to move on. We were having conversations about, does it make sense? Is it the right time for the Packers to move on from Matt LaFleur? I think a lot of us ended up sitting back in our chairs and going, I don't necessarily like that Matt's going to be back, but I think they're going to end up bringing him back, and it's going to be Matt. But then for Ed Policy, for us to find out that he made that decision the day after the game, he essentially was never going to move on from Matt LaFleur, regardless of how terrible things ended this season. And then on top of that, go a step further to not change that hierarchy, that reporting structure. I'm going, okay, so literally Ed Policy, you're coming in, you're saying all these things about, no one's job's safe. We have to make sure that we do X, Y, Z things. And then you change nothing. That's frustrating to me out of Ed Policy. Do I think that nothing will change, period? No. I think that there will be some players cut, some players brought in. I think that there will be, obviously there's going to be a new defensive coordinator, because there isn't one right now. But I don't see any aggressiveness out of the organization of being upset with the fact that they've been the 7 seed 3 years in a row. They haven't won the division in 5 years. And this caliber of being, let's just keep everything the same. Let's just run it back again and hope that we don't have catastrophic injuries. I hate that excuse. It's not what I want out of out of Titletown, out of the championship expectation Green Bay Packers. I need more.
So we're going to find out, what does more look like from the Green Bay Packers coming up at 7:45? How do the Packers and they, as in Matt LaFleur, Goody, Russ Ball, how do they decide to make these changes? We'll talk about that then. And up next, a little Would You Rather Wednesday. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. That's next. Keep your input coming in. This will absolutely carry through Would You Rather Wednesday. On what are your thoughts on the changes or lack thereof in Green Bay? And what is the expectation on when do the Packers make the changes? How soon? And does the timing bother us? More to come inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And for more Brewers baseball talk, and it's coming your way, the Hot Stove Weekly featuring Brewers pitching coach Chris Hook will join Tim Allen and Tommy Wartz this evening from 5 to 7 on Hot Stove Weekly here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on a Would You Rather Wednesday and a morning mind dump of... All right, so no change, huh? Well, if we're not going to make change, then what should we expect to change? And how do the Packers and Matt LaFleur then decide on when to change and move forward? From a coach, when not to, and what is the timing of that? That's what's got Josh's gears a little grinded this morning, is it appears, just based on what's not changing in Green Bay with the announcement coming from this past weekend that indeed Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball will all be back in their positions. And so, all right, if that's the case, then we're definitely blaming injuries on this past season. And what's going to change? Nothing? Well, that sucks. Back to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. The 920 says, Josh is exactly right, and Trevor is wrong here. Right now is the transfer portal time for assistant coaches. Every day that passes that you don't make a change and decide to move on is another day that a quality coach in a position of need is taken by another team. Inaction is death. No action at all is where we're at. So I did some research on when the Packers make coaching changes and when don't they, and how has this been in the Matt LaFleur tenure here in Green Bay? Pretty much all of the positions that we could think of and list off the top of our heads have changed in Green Bay, and it's usually around this time, from January 30th to January 29th, early February, sometimes January 24th. Today is the 21st, which means we should, as Packers fans, expect change at some point here in the next week or two, if indeed change is going to be made. It's a little scary to look at the date and the time and go, yeah, we all know what changes need to be made. As a matter of fact, I said that to my doctor yesterday, Josh, who listens to the show on a regular basis. I had my annual physical yesterday. Strapping man of health, may I remind you?
Yeah, good strapping. For you. Yeah, no problems at all.
Not really. Definitely didn't order a heart test to make sure I'm...
Oh, I need one of those right now.
Listen to this, Josh. The offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach, all of them have changed on the regular under Matt LaFleur. Offense, Hackett took a promotion, moved on to Denver.
Mm-hmm. His choice.
Got promoted internally, and we'll see if that maintains. Defensive coordinator, Mike Pettin did not have his contract renewed. We hired Joe Barry, then fired Joe Barry January 24th, 2024. Then Jeff Hafley was brought on as DC, and now he moves on to Miami. Special teams coordinator has flip-flopped like crazy.
Yeah, insane.
Sean Menenja, 2 years, fired. Maurice Drayton, 1 year, fired. Bisaccia, 2022 to present, fired?
Nope.
We're going to find out.
Still here.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet, but
not yet.
Again, timeline-wise, I wouldn't expect it yet. This is the week. To the texter's point on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, they're not wrong. The portal is open, and I believe Matt LaFleur knows that. And based on history and the facts that we have, if there's going to be change, we should expect change by the end of next week for sure. It continues, though. Wide receivers coach fired after 2019. Jason Vrabel was brought in, and now he's being talked about as potentially where else he could go, specifically Miami. But he absolutely is a Matt LaFleur stable fixture within his coaching staff. The quarterbacks coach has passed on and moved over. Luke Getsy, nobody died. Luke Getsy, passing game coordinator in 2020, left for a promotion, went to the Bears.
Yep, he went.
Tom Clements retired 2022 to 2024. But remember, he was brought back for specific reasons to make sure Jordan Love was becoming the player that he needed to be. And then the staff reset at QB coach happened in 2025 with Sean Mannion. So there's been an overhaul over the last 7 seasons in very important positions on Matt LaFleur's coaching staff. And as of the 21st, no news has been reported about whether change has happened or not. God, do I hope something gets reported before 9 a.m. this morning. I think that would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that sure would. I would love that.
But nonetheless, this is the time. And I haven't seen in history them move on from somebody before now. So I personally did not have the expectation that there would be massive change on January 19th, 20th, or 21st. By the end of the month or early February, absolutely. That's when the whole thing goes, especially, and I know that Halfley chose to move on, but the names of the guys that are on the list that we talked about yesterday, some of them have been and will be in town. Some of them are still coaching. I don't know how you get Jim Leonard to come in for an interview and make the change that fast when he's got a game to prepare for this weekend. And all of that will have shook itself out within the next 3 weeks. And so that's how I look at this and go, all right, change within the next 3 weeks. That should absolutely be something we should expect as Packer fans, but I'm just not there yet in terms of my undies in a bundle as to why it hasn't happened yet.
All right. So shout out to Terry and Ashwabanon, by the way, that said, love the rant, Josh. Totally agree with you. Appreciate you. And then I want to focus on the 262 here that said, we didn't change head coach, and that's the problem. The franchise is acting like they are the Brewers. I think that's an interesting point because I think the Brewers have been a highlight in recent years in regards to our Wisconsin sports and who we can cheer for. I do think that the expectations, though, from the Brewers to the Packers are different. What we expect out of the Packers is different than what we expect out of the Brewers. And the Packers have not lived up to that, not just last year, but for the last 4 to 5 years. And so that's why it's frustrating, is that it's very hard for me to buy in if you're saying, yes, this is title town. The expectation here is always championships, and you're not even winning the division. You haven't done it in 5 years. And then you come out as Ed Policy and you say, yeah, but we're not changing anything. We're keeping the reporting structure the same. We're keeping everyone that's here in that makes those decisions the same, and we'll make some personnel changes. That to me isn't enough. There needed to be something done more, and it didn't happen. So
but that's the hardest part about the argument that you're making, Josh, is that you realistically, based on history, you shouldn't have had that expectation by now. Rhino in the 608 says, what are we even doing here? The only thing that remains the same right now is the big three at the top of the hierarchy. In no way does this imply that they're not changing anything. We're still nowhere near the player acquisition time period. Be patient. This is ridiculous. Boy, Ryan, you took the words right out of my mouth because that's exactly how I feel. It's the 21st of January. The top three have indeed stayed the same. And again, I was very loud and very proud, frankly, of thinking we needed to move on from Matt LaFleur. Ed Policy says, how about no? Okay, got it. Well, now we sit and we go, this will be interesting. Let's see what changes. I just personally didn't have the expectation that by the morning of January 21st, we would be standing on top of the hills and go, yes, they made the changes that we needed to make. Not yet.
Yeah, I think they've already missed some of the necessary changes. And now I'm
like what?
I think they needed to not have the same reporting structure. I think Ed Policy had to say, hey, what you guys are doing here right now, it's not working. Okay, having you guys all be on the same playing field. You guys want to keep your jobs? You guys want to run it back and say, hey, Goody, you went, you got the players. Matt, you can only coach the guys that are on the field. You guys want to use those excuses? That's fine. But I'm changing something up because this level of performance is unacceptable in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I wanted to see that out of Ed Policy, and I didn't. I got, hey, we're going to bring everyone back. We're going to extend them. We're going to reward what has been done over the last 4 or 5 years, and we're going to keep everything the same and hope that injuries don't happen. The quality of the players we drafted can still be on the field, and we win a bunch of games.
Well, the good news is hope isn't a strategy, is it? When we come back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, a little Would You Rather Wednesday. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for a little Would You Rather Wednesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Holy extreme cold watch, Batman. The entire state of Wisconsin is in for it over the next 48 hours. Got to be safe on Friday. A high of, at least here in Green Bay, -4. A high of -4. Pretty sure the kids aren't going to have school on Friday.
No. I honestly was thinking about, I was worried about our cars in the morning coming into the station. I was like, do I pull a Tommy Chonga and try to sleep at the station?
Grab that CPAP, buddy, and find an outlet.
Yep.
Because I can do it from home if I absolutely had to.
I can't.
Cannot.
Nope, we got to be here.
All right, Josh, would you rather 90 degrees and humid or a high of -4?
I love this conversation. I'm going to go 90 degrees and humid, but almost in every case, I'm going the cold over the hot. But 90 degrees isn't terrible. And so, I could do 90.
Boy, 90 degrees and humid, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. But if it was -4 is also not 4 degrees. There's a big difference between -4 and 4.
But are you going outside for either? I'm not.
Right.
If it's 90 and humid, unless you got a pool and a whole cooler full of Miller Lite, I'm out.
Thank the Lord that we live in a time when heat and air conditioning exist. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, how smart of Miller Lite to keep those white cans? Because anything darker, heat-seeking missiles.
True. All right, I had one for you, Trevor. Trevor, would you rather have it be a Would You Rather Wednesday or a Take Back Tuesday?
Would you rather Wednesday?
Oh, that's interesting. I thought maybe you would have gone with Take Back Tuesday based on the news that came out yesterday on Ryan Braun not making the MLB Hall of Fame.
Did I say first ballot, or did I just say he's a Hall of Famer?
I don't know. Let's take a listen. You then went on to list out multiple stats. Trevor, how many votes did he get?
15.
What's the minimum percentage you need to be able to stay on the ballot to make the Hall of Fame?
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. You need to get 5% of the vote to be on the ballot next year. Ryan Braun got 3.5%.
So is he out?
He's out. Ryan Braun will never be
that sucks.
in the MLB Hall of Fame. I know that
I would like to change my answer. Oh, well.
I know that you said that on the recap show that Tommy Chonga does. He gave you some flack, but when I saw that, I went, let me just go back to November 18th to the hottest take that Trevor's ever had in the show's history. There it is. I knew it was crazy. He, 1.5% off of even having a case for next year.
Ever.
If you can't,
one and done, no chance.
If you, my understanding, if you do not in your first year or in any year get at least 5% of the vote, you're off the ballot. You move on. Now, the weird thing is that out of all the other first timers, he actually got the second most votes of any player that was a first timer on the ballot. So just as we talked about that this was a pretty weak ballot and we didn't think that anyone would get in as the first ballot Hall of Famer, the majority of them, almost all of them, I think, aren't even going to be on the ballot next year. The entire first ballot, all of them, the committee went, no.
Wow.
They're all done. But Ryan Braun officially out, will not be an MLB Hall of Famer. So thank you, Trevor. We will always have your hottest take. But yeah. Yep. Thought maybe you'd want it to be a Take Back Tuesday. You know what? I had more Would You Rathers, but that was it. That was the main that was the main thing.
That was a bad one.
I just needed to get to that.
Off the ballot altogether.
Yep.
How long can someone stay on the ballot? If a player keeps getting 5-ish%, they can stay on the ballot for up to 10 years. If someone falls off the writer's ballot or runs out of years, they can still eventually get in through a Veterans Committee process later on. Ha! So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Love it. The Veterans Committee.
25 years from now, I'm going to be like, Josh, you were wrong. I told you he was. All right, one more here. Would you rather have dinner with Doc Rivers or Luke Fickell?
Oh, my God.
You got to go, and you have to pay.
Oh, Luke Fickell. I could not sit through that dinner with Doc Rivers. And then at the end, the only thing that would keep me at the table is knowing that maybe Doc is paying. If I also have to pay, there's no way. Nope. I couldn't make it. I would jokingly pay for Luke Fickell's and then say, hey, instead of leaving the tip to the waiter, I left it to you. Here's a little bit more money for your NIL deals.
Which they may plausibly have a chance to get. Josh and I did some research, and there's a lot of money to be had here in Wisconsin, just as long as we follow along with the new slogans. We teased this yesterday, and the amount of AI logos that showed up on Josh and I's Twitter, at On Air Josh, at Trevor Thomas IW. If you could connect a brand in Wisconsin with a bunch of money that has ties either to the state or to UW, what funny slogan would you come up with to pair them with Wisconsin football? Whoa, do we have some options to share with you? That's next hour here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. But before we get to that, the one, the only Doug Gottlieb will join us when we come back. I asked him, Josh, to either find a clipboard or a white quarter zip or both.
Ooh.
Please show up with one. That's all I'm asking.
There we go. I love it.
If it's the white quarter zip or not, we're still going to talk about it. And I really want, I'm going to ask him. We're going to ask him a would you rather question, but I'm going to ask him to punch the clipboard. I think I got hosed in this thing.
Oh, you did. You did. He took advantage of you for sure.
Stupid. Well, dinner with you and him, I guess. I'll buy. I'm inviting Doc Rivers.
No.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Stay here. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Oh, that's just it. Being able to connect with fans and go to places that some places that don't get a chance to come down to Milwaukee very much. And we've got some great fans up there, and that it's been very educational for me to learn more about who these people are. I look at it like these people are so committed to each other, and they're so committed to their state, and they love their sports teams. So it's like, wow, I get it. Like, it's one big team in the state of Wisconsin, and I just love it. So.
Pat Murphy here in Green Bay last night, wrapping up his statewide tour on how much this whole tour has really opened his eyes. He went to places in western Wisconsin, in central Wisconsin, La Crosse, northern Wisconsin, Eau Claire, Wausau. He didn't even know those places existed. We do here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Pat Murphy, not so much. Wrightstown? Nope. Greenleaf? Nope. That all came up in conversation last night. And yet, he really appreciates who we are as a state. One big happy family and one big happy team of supporters for the Milwaukee Brewers. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
And joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Oh, DG's cold. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of GB men's basketball. What's up, buddy? Nice hat.
Wait, I read something today. There's a fear of exploding trees.
Yeah, I saw that too. So the temperature on Friday is going to be so cold, not only in regard to Fahrenheit, but the wind chill where trees and the moisture may explode.
Well, that was not in the brochure. That was not, like I knew it was cold, frozen tundra, not a surprise, right? I knew it. Nobody said anything about exploding trees. That one, again, it's a new one. It's a new one.
That was not in the brochure.
Yeah.
Might be the funniest line I've ever heard.
Stay away from trees tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Murph was in Green Bay. I didn't have anything to do last night. I was watching hoop all night last night. My team, our upcoming opponents, and other teams. I didn't know. I would have stopped by and see Murph. He's the best. I mean, you want to talk about the best. Just a great human being and a good manager. What a good dude.
Yeah. He got to take a tour of Lambeau Field yesterday. He'd never been there before. His wife, his kids were along. It was really great to see him. Hey, let's stick to the winter thing for a second. A little Would You Rather Wednesday before we jump in. Winter Olympics. Would you rather bobsled or luge?
Bobsled.
Yeah, that's the correct.
You got the whole thing around you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to crash. It's just a question of, do I want to crash in a car or crash in a motorcycle? Right?
100%.
Easy call.
Yeah.
Easy call. By the way, there's nothing, and I know that we're in a part of the country where people care about some of these sports. Okay. But nothing I'm less than enthusiastic about than the Winter Olympics.
Nothing?
I mean, there's WNBA, CBA negotiations is the only thing slightly below that. That's about it.
Okay. So there's something.
That's where I cut off.
Yeah.
I mean, the hockey you'll get into.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, look, don't get me wrong. Figure skating's they're unbelievable athletes, right? Like gymnastics on skates. And I went and skated with my son and my nephew over by Lambeau, right? And every time you're skating, you're like, how do they play hockey? Like, I have no idea. So I'm not talking about it's hard or not hard. It's just, I didn't grow up with these sports. I don't know. Yeah, it's really hard. It's very difficult. The skiing and shooting one is kind of interesting. That one is, right? That one does.
How do you not enjoy
like if they threw in
jump?
fishing, everybody in Green Bay would be like, well, you got skiing, you got fishing, you got shooting. Throw in fishing and beer drinking. Now that That I think we can all get behind, right? Right?
I'll
Like you
win
have to get on
gold
your
medal
skis.
right here.
Hold on. We're brainstorming here. Okay.
Yeah. Here we go.
We create, like they all create all these bull crap sports anyway. Like flag football is going to be in the. So if that's the case, like what are we doing here? So if they can form made up sports, let's make one up. Right. Okay. So you got to be armed. I think most of the Midwest can dig that one. Right. You got to be out in the cold. I think we can all relate there. The skis, kind of difficult, right? We have our Nordic ski team here. So I'm opening up the world for GB athletics to potentially be Olympians, right? Throw in beer drinking and shooting targets while you're drinking beer and you're skiing, and then throwing, like you got to stop and you got to catch like a walleye or maybe a pike. I mean, it might not be the most nationally popular sport, but here in Wisconsin and in Minnesota, I mean, this is gold.
What's
We would
the
be
name?
Give me an
producing
orange
athlete
jacket.
after
We already do
athlete
this.
after athlete.
Doug, what's the name? What's the name of the sport?
I'll leave that to you. And
Oh, come on.
I'm brainstorming here. I came up with the idea. You come up with the name.
Gottliebing.
Unbelievable.
Gottliebing.
No, because I can't drink. I don't drink that much beer. Like I'm like a 1 or 2 beer guy. I'm not armed. I have a knife, but I don't.
Why the hell are you carrying a knife?
I have a buddy who I went to school with. And he's in Texas, and he makes these bison blades, and he made me these GB inspired bison blades.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I actually look like I know what I'm doing when somebody takes me out like hunting or fishing. I'm like, well, I got my own knife. Like, oh, Gottlieb's got his own knife. Oh, here we go now. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, 7 minutes in, we're completely off the rails.
Yeah,
I love it. This is my favorite time.
Sorry
of the week.
about that, guys.
we're
coming up with Olympic sports here. This is so much
So
more
good.
important than us getting our ass kicked by Oakland. That's way better.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
No, it's not.
Okay, so somebody texted into the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line and said, I sit a few rows behind Coach Gottlieb at the crest.
Uh-oh.
After last week's talk on the quarter zips, it might not be the worst thing that they lost because Doug's quarter zip needed a good wash. The dirt really sticks out in the color white. So go with the green zip moving forward. Maybe we can not have that be so noticeable. I saw it too. I'm like, oh, damn, he wasn't lying.
They all saw it. So here's what happened, okay? So the quarter zip wasn't always like dirty, but so we win on Thursday at Cleveland State. Didn't play particularly well in the first half. Second half, I was really proud of how we executed, got a lead, and then played smart basketball for the most part down the stretch. Got out with like it was a 15-point win or something like that. So it's my birthday. Thank you, Trevor, for telling everybody in Wisconsin it's my birthday.
Yeah, that was
awesome. I get water just dumped on me. Right, so now my shirt's completely just coated in sweat and in water. So too is the polo that I've been wearing. Same polo, same quarter zip, no wash. Okay, and I had washed the pants just for people to understand. Like I do, I understand that, right?
That's where you draw the line, yeah.
Well, because you get a little swamp, you know what, when you're coaching like that. That does happen. So, anyway, so it had already started to smell, right? I'm a bit of a sweater, right? And it started to smell. So I thought maybe by washing it, by getting wet, like maybe that might help. No. And we took a charter home. So it's in my bag. So when I got home, I put it outside. I have a little balcony outside in my bedroom, and it's like snow and ice. I'm like, maybe that'll air it out. And then I brought it inside and I again hung it, and then it fell down and was still wet. And one of my dogs comes like boom, 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 and steps on it, and that's some of the dirt. And then I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not supposed to wash this thing because I'm not superstitious, but I am very stitious, right? And I was like, uh-oh. And so I saw it. I'm like, oh, God, what do I do here? So I just wore it as is. It smelled. It was dirty. It was gross. But I couldn't be the guy who, like, again, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that we laid an egg or we won games. I don't want to get done with this thing and, get up to, maybe I get to the pearly gates and St. Peter's like, hey, dude, shouldn't have watched that quarter zip. Would have won the whole thing, right? I don't want to, why chance it? What's the point? So yes, there will be new attire I get, so I got to get something that says Nicolay Bank on it. That's part of my deal. And then some that says Green Bay on it, part of my deal. But I'm thinking about taking a break from the quarter zip. I am.
Whoa, breaking news here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. You heard it here first. Doug Gottlieb thinking about not wearing a quarter zip during the next game. Okay.
Well, Josh, by the way, this is brilliant interviewing, just so you understand.
Yes, setting us up.
We talked about something. I'm taking over here, taking over there. I don't even want to talk about what happened on Sunday. I just mentioned wins Thursday. This is how you do it. It's like conducting a master class here on avoiding avoiding the actual job at hand.
I need to know when you're going up against Oakland, now that we know the whole story before the game of how the quarter zip got to that point, you still wear it. You're telling me at no point did it pop into your head, man, and on top of all of this, I'm still wearing this quarter zip, and like you wanted to take it off?
It smelled, and my assistants were like, Coach, you gotta go change. Like, you gotta go change.
During halftime?
No, during the national anthem. So again, I'm a very I have, as Trevor knows, I have ADHD, right? So in a way, to organize my thoughts, I try and be regimented, right? So at certain times, I go and I lift weights for 20 minutes with different clothes, and then once we go to the locker room and we talk to them the first time, we had one kid on a visit. Which is the worst part, right? We got one kid on a visit, and then we had a bunch of 26s, other 26s, and then a bunch of 27s in as well. For people who don't know, those are seniors and juniors, recruitable student athletes that come into the locker room and listen to the pregame talk. So I wear the stuff I was working out in for that, and then I go and I change and I put my game clothes on, and then we rah-rah them, and we go them down, and let's go get them, guys, right? So nobody said anything. I'm walking down the stairs. I do it by myself. I kind of gather my thoughts. We're out there. You shake hands with Greg Campy, right? And he offers officials, I think, a free round at Oakland Hills. I've never been offered a round at Oakland Hills. No one's ever. I mean, oddly, the free throw disparity in every second half we play them is amazing.
Oh my God.
I don't know. But anyway, so then I go and we're getting ready for the national anthem, and Eric Sanders, as his nickname's eighth grade. So eighth grade's that gigantic African-American fellow who's on my staff, and he puts his arm around and goes, Coach, you got to go change. You got to go change. Like, that looks terrible. I ain't gonna lie, I'm your friend. That looks terrible. I was like, bro, I can't change. I've worn this whole time. So I know it smells and it's dirty. Like, you got to change. So
he's like, I'm not sure.
I was standing.
You got to get rid of that thing.
I was standing in line in will call when you came out of your office, and I saw it. I was like, okay, we're committed.
Did you wash the quarter zip? I mean, you wouldn't dare throw it out.
No, I washed. Right. I'm not throwing it out.
Of course.
No,
of course.
I mean,
if you have a dirty quarter zip.
Maybe I should make, again, it was in the things that we did, we should not have done. There was 25 of them, and the tape was off. Was really we really didn't play well. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong, and they're funky with that matchup zone, but we just really laid an egg. I mean, it was just I was very unhappy. So it's like burn the tape. Like, maybe we should throw that quarter zip in with the tape, but as of now, it's simply washed, folded, and waited for its next winning streak. That's what's waiting for.
Shut up, Josh. I bought Josh a quarter zip for Christmas to make this story go away, and it's just not going to die.
It's not me.
You don't have to read the text messages. We were at a Brewers game together. I had a Brewers quarter zip jacket for about a decade plus, and I couldn't get the stench. It didn't breathe. It was sweaty. No matter how we tried, how Amanda tried, it didn't ever lose the stench. So I wore it to the Brewers playoff game that Josh and I went to together, knowing full well that I was chucking this thing in the garbage after I bought a hoodie. That was the most Wisconsin Cardinal sin that I have ever been involved with, and it will not friggin' die. So I say, you know what? I'm going to buy Josh a quarter zip for Christmas on one condition, that this stupid story goes away. It's not going away.
It's not going away. The amount of people texting in saying, I hope that DG didn't throw away his quarter zip, immediately going back to Trevor's is Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Hey,
All
can
right,
I
on the young-
the pack? Okay, so I want to explain to people something because I read on social media a lot about we should hire this guy with half league on, we should hire that guy with half league on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm not offering up any names. I'm simply telling you how it works in coaching. Okay, that I think is sort of my job. They're going to hire somebody he knows and he's worked with before, somebody from the same coaching tree. So if there are no connections to anywhere he's worked or who he's worked for, they won't be hired. No matter how, it doesn't mean they're not good. Okay. It doesn't mean they're not great. And you're not going to necessarily change the construct of the defense, right? You don't, if it's a 3, if you build it on a 3-4 scheme, you're not bringing in a 4-3 guy unless you're going to completely clean house. And they're not, right? So again, whatever name they're going to hire as his replacement is going to be somebody from that coaching tree, likely somebody he's worked with before. The proper follow-up question is why?
Hey, Doug, why?
Because when you look, building a coaching staff, it's about a lot of things. Trust, obviously, is probably the biggest thing, trust and loyalty. But you have to know how people move. You have to have a relationship to work together because, as if they succeed or if they fail, you want to make sure that you get the proper credit and that you're always working together. And new relationships, it doesn't work. Again, you kind of go through my coaching staff, and Kerry Rupp worked with my brother at Oregon State. Andy Brown was my high school coach. Eric Sanders played for my brother at San Diego State. We've known each other for 25 years. Jerry Smith played for my dad. I've known him for 20 years. Anyway, you have to, everyone hires people that they know. It's no different in business, right? Like you gotta be careful about hiring family, right? And have them take advantage of you, but you're hiring somebody who's completely outside of your sphere is very, very, very risky. And it doesn't mean they're not good, but they're comforting in having a pre-existing relationship, and especially that pre-existing relationship and understanding how and why you think and how and why you work. That's just the way it works in business. That's definitely the way it works in coaching.
Doug Gottlieb, head coach of GB men's basketball, joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. That's the proper thing to do, DG. Let's reset, let people know who's talking, and then move on. Yep. All right. Where's this damn clipboard? Do you have it near you?
Well, I have the replacement. Just proof that one has not been broken yet this year here's the replacement clipboard. So
can you tap on that? Is that thing made of steel or something?
No, it's I don't know.
Punch.
I'm sure it's made in a foreign country.
They've been winning. He's not breaking clipboards because the team is winning.
Yeah,
they're doing well.
I've also I've just found a little bit more balance. I mumble under my breath a little bit more, but I don't know. Did you think I was going to break a clipboard the other day?
I thought there was a chance.
It was definitely clipboard breaking, like not getting back in transition, having guys back in transition. They race it down the court. Like we literally start every practice with it, everyone. So it was very frustrating, but no clipboards were damaged in this. You're going to lose this bet. Just so you understand, you're going to lose this bet.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm aware. I've lost a lot of bets involving steak lately. Add it to the list. I haven't eaten any of them. If we could get schedules figured out, that'd be great. How do I get on your
what is your cut of steak?
Ribeye. Not even a question.
Cowboy or regular?
Regular.
Okay. Solid.
Good to know what you're going to order, though. That's not the most expensive steak on the menu at all.
What do you mean?
The cowboy ribeye?
No, I didn't say I'm a cowboy ribeye guy. I asked you.
Tomahawk.
Okay, so I'm glad you asked. So I like. Have you ever had a hanger steak?
Yes, I have. I hate it.
You don't like hanger?
I don't. I'm glad you brought this up.
What don't you like about hanger?
It's so I am. This is going to completely start a new argument, but here we go. I am a steak medium plus guy, not rare or medium rare. And hanger, you have to cook medium rare. It's just not my jam.
Why do you have to cook it medium rare? I don't know what you're talking about.
The restaurant I like to go to had it on their menu and would not allow me to order it medium plus. They're like, take it or leave it. It's medium rare. This is how we do it. That's what the chef says. I tried it. Never again.
Interesting.
I've never heard that. That's like Wagyu is supposed to be medium, right? Because there's so much fat in it that you want the fat to like kind of soak into the meat and you get the true. So I don't think that's right. I don't know, but the folks I'm a lot
I was gonna
marketplace,
say,
right?
Scott Perry can help us with this.
No, he has. Oh, I don't know about. Well, Matt does he does a cooking minute on social media. His son. I'm a big hanger guy. I love a ribeye. Ribeye's probably third, right? I like a good skirt. I like a good skirt, so it'd probably be hanger, skirt, then ribeye, in that order. But I've never
Josh,
heard.
what about you?
Yeah, I'm like the most basic. Fillet. I just want a fillet. I just want a big
I
fillet.
just don't like. There's just
wanna
not
deal
enough
with all
fat
the
in the
stuff.
fillet, to be honest with you. It doesn't.
Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly why. Just I don't want to
The
pick
fat
around
is
my
the
meat.
taste. Like you're already eating steak. Like,
DG, tell us about Youngstown State. I would assume that you leave today.
Youngstown, not a state. Right, that's
Not a state.
Not a state. Yes, we leave today. We got to fly in the governor's plane to Cleveland. So I felt like I should leave a note. I don't know. I didn't, but I felt like I should leave a note. I don't, just like list of complaints. I didn't know. I was like, no, here's a pen. So Youngstown State, super talented. They shoot a ton of threes. The kid Carroll is back from last year. He's like 6'6", 220. He's a problem. Really, really talented team. And I think they have so many new pieces that they still, like, every game is a 2-point game if you look kind of down their resume. And then, last year, I thought that we did a good job cross-matching them. They had Gabe Dines, who's the shot blocker. This year they have another shot blocker. And so we went small when they went big. Our problem is that we've been much better defensively when I played Ramel Bethea. That's us playing big. So that changes kind of our offensive scheme and approach. So I don't know. We just look, as much as the opponent matters, and it's not really a coaching cliche. It's true. It's really about us. Like, we have to play at a reasonable tempo, understand that we don't want to walk it up, but we also don't need to shoot quick, need to execute our offense with confidence. The guys, they'd make a mistake and they just all of a sudden stop driving the basketball, stop moving. We had guys cutting that weren't supposed to be cutting. And then I thought defensively, they really picked on us and threw it in the post and got some confidence. And then, the big kid Brew was 3 of 3 from threes. And, he was shooting low 20s before that. So we have to get our defensive and offensive confidence back. We got to get our continuity back in moving the basketball to how we were playing. We got to get back to getting to the free throw line. We lead the conference in free throw attempts by a mile, but we didn't play that way against the Oakland zone. At the end of the day, it still becomes man to man if you move yourself crisply enough. So Youngstown State's good. They're talented. They could easily be in first place in this league with their amount of talent. They just have a whole new team. But we got to make it about us, Trevor. We got to just play better basketball if we want to have a chance.
Yeah, you've been playing really good basketball. A blip against Oakland, not the end of the season by any means. Well, good luck. Get a win. We will chat with you again next week.
Let's just hold on. What did you talk about today? We created an Olympic sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exploding trees,
Yep.
Zip madness, right?
Yep.
Including my own BO issues. Why
the defensive coordinator will be hired the way they are hired.
Yep.
I mean, we give you some stuff there, boys. We gave you some stuff.
Great.
On the way out, I got a text just now from a source that says, can confirm the quarter zip indeed did not smell like roses.
Well, there you go.
The source was in the second.
If we don't get the recruit, probably the reason.
Well, we know why. Well, then they don't care about winning. So
he was sitting right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh God, I could just see."
They didn't ask the question. They didn't ask. We had dinner. Nobody asked. Obviously, I'd changed, but nobody said, "Hey, coach, like your quarter zip was dirty. Why?" So,
hey, by the way, respond to my damn text message about going out to dinner. I'm trying to invite you to a meal with a potential sponsor, and then he disappears.
And he's gone. He's like, "All right, I got to go."
What part of do not disturb does Doug Gottlieb not understand? He's teaching us how to do a radio interview.
Yeah.
We lost him.
All right. Well, thank you, Doug.
Bye, Doug. DG. Listen, I've been involved with radio since I was 16 years old. I'm 42. That type of segment is everything I want out of what we bring to the state of Wisconsin. It is
that's fun.
So fun. He's going to text me. Oh, sorry about that. I got a call. Guarantee it. Oh, yep, right there. Sorry, dropped. There it was. Called it.
All good.
All right, when we come back, we're going to drop some names. We talked a lot about this yesterday. I'm so jacked for this. There are an opportunity here in the state of Wisconsin to connect Wisconsin football with a big bag of money. So what should the slogan be? We teased a few of these yesterday. We want yours, and we'll share ours. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. in sports with Trevor and Josh, chatting about what it would take to connect some of the billions of dollars available here in the state of Wisconsin with the Wisconsin football program, knowing full well that Indiana can pull it off, and so too can the Badgers. And so yesterday we brought up that, hey, whoa, there's some pretty big companies and some wealthy people connected to the state of Wisconsin or UW in general. And Josh and I went down the path of Temu and connecting the CEO of Temu, who Josh said is apparently a grad of UW.
Yeah, and an alum.
And I didn't really know what Temu was. And Josh explained it. And I said something like Wisconsin football, shop smarter or something like that.
Yeah.
And whoa, you all love that. And now it took off on Twitter. And so we decided to bring it back today. So Josh and I have perused a list of potential dollars that we could connect with the UW football program and have come up with some slogans. Josh, you go first.
Okay. Yeah, so here's some businesses that I think might work well. So let's start with Quick Trip.
Quick Trip.
If Quick Trip threw some money at the Badgers football. Hey, college football playoff, we'll see you next time. Thanks, Quick Trip.
See you next time, hopefully.
All right, then we got Culver's. Badgers football, a better brand of beef makes the Badgers linemen better. Thanks, Culver's.
Cooked fresh.
And then I had the Generac. Generac also headquartered.
Yeah, Generac generators. Yeah.
Wisconsin Badgers football finally generating nil money. Thanks to Generac.
Appreciate the check.
Yeah.
Those
are the three I had.
I Googled the 10 richest companies in Wisconsin, and up came a bunch of names that are associated with these companies, like Diane Hendricks of ABC Supply and John Menard Jr. of Menards and so on. So I went from the bottom up, and it turns out that there are 3 S.C. Johnson people connected with the S.C. Johnson Company, and then a whole bunch of people, obviously, in the Kohler family, and then a couple people associated with Uline. So here we go. Not a single person, but a huge Wisconsin wealth pool is connected to the Kohler family. Wisconsin Badgers football and Kohler. Removing the poo, one paycheck at a time.
Perfect.
S.C. Johnson, who makes Johnson & Johnson's No Tears shampoo.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Badgers football, presented by Johnson & Johnson's No Tears shampoo. No tears, more smiles, many touchdowns.
Oh, I like that.
The Cargill family, you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to. They're loaded. Wisconsin Badgers football, presented by Cargill, putting players on the grass. Let them eat or cut their ass.
Ooh. I like that too. That's good.
Uline. Wisconsin Badgers football, presented by Uline. Packing, shipping, paying players. 2 more. 3 more. Judy Faulkner owns Epic Systems. Do you know what Epic is?
Yeah, that's like a CRM, right?
Essentially, it's the healthcare software system where all of our digital charts live.
Yeah.
So Epic is like, if you go to the doctor, that's where they put all of your information in Epic. Wisconsin Badgers football, software that helps people get well, helps people stay well, and helps future generations of Wisconsin football play well. Please send money. All right, 2 more. Diane Hendricks, stupid rich. ABC Supply. Wisconsin Badgers football. Fickle may not be the guy, but fear not. We have ABC Supply.
I like that.
Menards. This is the big one. Wisconsin Badgers football and Menards. In the future, please send all of your 11% rebate receipts to Camp Randall Stadium, 1440 Monroe Street, Madison, Wisconsin, 53706.
Yeah. There's so many you could do for Menards. Save big money, we'll spend it. Any recruit you can fit in this paper bag, you can get 11% off of their Neil deal.
Oh, Rhino on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line.
It's good, though. It is good.
You read it.
Okay. Wisconsin Badgers football brought to you by Menards. Our product looks great on paper, but once you see it in person, it's a hunk of crap. Rhino.
Come on. Not a big Menards guy, huh?
Yeah, or belief in the Badger football program.
Oh, man. All right. So if you come up with your own based on this conversation, tag us on Twitter. So many of you did yesterday, and now they're starting to come in. Ron in Rome about the Johnson & Johnson no-tears shampoo.
Oh, he's saying that's Johnson & Johnson, not
whatever.
SC Johnson?
Sounds good.
I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't care. You're missing the point.
They're going to pull their money back in this hypothetical.
The world of AI has been very fascinating because you can easily go into an AI software and type in a logo that you're looking for based on Wisconsin Badgers football and all of this, and that's going to spit out some funny stuff. So if you take the time to do that while you're using a Kohler product, tag us on Twitter.
Yeah.
At On Air Josh and at Trevor Thomas IW.
Man,
removing the poo one paycheck at a time.
Shout out to Ronnie on Twitter, who took the time to make headshots of you and I as the CEOs of companies, of me as Fanatics, as we talked yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought Josh owned Lids. Fanatics owns Lids. He put me as a CEO, and then made you the CEO of Temu, which you'd never even heard of.
Well, I think I had heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. When you get served those ads on social media, listen, I have fallen a victim to this in the past, where you get these ads of this stupid crap you don't need, and you're half in the bag, and you click, oh, this would be great. Amanda would love this.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, my debit card's stolen, and I don't get the product. So if Temu is one of those online things like Amazon, I have just chosen to stick with Amazon.
Right. I think that's the majority of the people, except for anyone that likes the Badgers football program. Shout out to Temu, future nil donor.
Nil donor?
Thank you, Temu.
When we come back, we'll cross over with our guy, John Kuhn. 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff is next. We'll talk to them, preview their show, and get their take on all things Packers DC coordinator. When we come back, we're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you missed any portion of today's show or yesterday's show or any show from Inside Wisconsin Sports, you can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods. Also, you can go to wisportsradio.com and catch the full episode there. Here on YouTube and Twitter, where we're live, lots of options for you to re-engage with Inside Wisconsin Sports if you missed something you were looking forward to. Like this segment with John Kuhn and 9 to Noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff as we preview what's coming up on their show. But I also need your take, John, as to what you think is going to happen with the whole DC coordinator position. Our guy, Aaron Nagler from Cheesehead TV, we had him on yesterday. We were talking about a list of 7 different people that he believes would be good. And we're curious to know where you stand, dude. Where do you think this is going to go from a DC coordinator, defense scheme, all that jazz position for the Pack?
They're going to hire one.
Perfect. Breaking news.
They're going to get a guy. They're going to get a guy. He's going to come in and he's going to coach the defensive side of the ball. That's what's going to happen.
Point, John, though, to your point, though, like, it does consistency matter? We got Micah Parsons. We have a decent thing going, even though it didn't show up in the second half a lot of games this year. I mean, is there something to be said about Doug Gottlieb just told us that it should probably be within the system that Matt LaFleur wants to run. So if he has a connection to somebody that knows the system, that's going to be the guy. Is that how it works?
Well, I would say it like this. The system for this Green Bay Packers team is a 4-down defense, right? They play nickel. They play 4 down. Their base defense is 4 down. Let's stay 4 down. We did the 3-4 thing. We went back to 4 down. We're gonna stay with 4 down, and that's going to be quote unquote the system. Jeff Hafley's leaving. His system's gone. It's going to go no matter who you bump up. If you bump up DeMarcus Covington, he's going to have his own system. It's going to be a tweak and a pull, and he's worked with Hafley, but it'll be different. So no matter who you bring in here, it's going to be in the identity of that new defensive coordinator, whether you elevate from within or whether you come from the outside. I would suggest, and I would suspect the Packers do something where their personnel doesn't need to be extremely altered. But guess what? There's going to be guys leaving. Right, Quay Walker's a free agent. Rashawn Gary, what do they do with him? What happens at the cornerback position? That's a desperate spot of need. Interior defensive line with Devontae Wyatt hurt. They're going to attack that position as well. So Kingsley Enagbare is a free agent. There's going to be a number of guys different regardless of what system they run.
We got to re-sign Quay Walker. Got to.
I mean, I would like to. I would like to. I know he wasn't perfect this year, but at times he and Edgerrin Cooper absolutely took off. And I think fans' patience, unlike general managers' patience and coaches' patience and other teammates' patience, I think fans' patience is short. They don't have a lot of it. And a guy messes up a few times here or there, and maybe even for a year, I'm ready to give up on that guy. But you don't see the game like that. And I'll be honest, right? I've talked to exhaustion the special teams and what's going on with the special teams in Green Bay. And there's a lot of people that are like, man, why didn't we just cut McManus when he was missing his kicks? Well, because he was injured. And the Packers tried to let a player, they gave him the courtesy to try and work through that injury. It turned out it hurt them. And yeah, not every decision works out perfectly, but you can't just, if you have a revolving door for players and coaches, you don't have anything.
You hear that, Josh? Patience.
Yeah. John, early in the show, during our morning mind dump, I had to get it off my chest of just the frustration that I am feeling about the expectations that come out of Green Bay being, we play for championships. We win championships. Them not even winning the North or being higher than the 7th seed in 5 years doesn't seem like, hey, we're playing for championships. That's the expectation. And then seeing Ed Policy come out and change nothing. Him saying, we're going to keep Matt LaFleur, we're going to keep Russ Ball, we're going to keep Brian Gutekunst, and we're going to keep the structure in which they report all the same. That was frustrating to me as a fan because I felt like
So you don't believe in the system?
I'm saying,
are you a believer? Are you a believer in this Packers? Did you think they had a chance to win the Super Bowl at any time this year? At any point in time?
Yes,
I did.
Okay. Well, then you believed in the system. You believed at one point in time.
At some point in the season, yeah.
Okay, so you're either with them or against them.
Woo-hoo.
And
Hello.
if you don't believe, if you don't believe in the system, why? Because they finished 0-5 the last 5 games.
John,
because they had a number of guys injured. I mean, this is not an excuse, but it is a question to you. Can a system fail because the players failed it, right? Can the system fail? Do you believe in the actual process in the system? Ed Policy does. Brian Gutekunst does. Matt LaFleur does. And if you don't, then you're talking about a problem that's much bigger than just the injuries that we had last year.
And that's I think that's to the point of what I'm saying. If this would have just been last season, I think maybe it would have been a little bit different. It's the fact that it hasn't just been last year or the year before that. It was going back the 5 years. It's been a while.
Well, let's go back because 5 years ago they were division champs. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC. 5 years ago they were.
Yep.
And then Aaron Rodgers had to start over. Twilight Aaron Rodgers, the beginning of Aaron Rodgers' twilight years, had to start over with new wide receivers. They traded Devontae Adams. David Bakhtiari never came back. So big changes there. Plus, they're in a little bit of a cap situation with Aaron Rodgers' contract now.
True.
And the team was so incredibly young. So Aaron's trying to help develop players while struggling, and the defense wasn't where it needed to be. Joe Barry. I mean, we can throw a number of things out there. Guess what? They changed. They turned the page to Jordan Love. They turned the page eventually to Jeff Hafley, who's now a head coach on another team. They turned the page to Rich Bisaccia. And right now, out of those, I think you would say, hey, defense trended in the right direction. Can't help if a guy gets taken to be a head coach. You can't help that.
Right.
That just means you had success.
John, we talked a lot, though.
Jordan Love trended in the right direction. Special teams didn't. So that is something that need to continue to work on. But I would say if you look at the last 3 years out of the 4-year window that you're giving us, they're trending in the right direction.
John, minute and a half before we got to get out to the hard stop. So real quick on this, how should our patience be in regards to the timing of all this? Josh was frustrated that nothing has changed ever since they said they were going to bring the big 3 back. And I said, bro, just give it a week. Like it's the 21st of January.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even done playing football games from this football season.
Right.
We're talking about what this team's going to look like next year already. Josh, we got free agency. We got a draft. We got a coaching cycle. We got all OTAs, mini camps. We got all kinds of stuff to get through. Be patient. You want to rush this thing. You want to force this thing. We got to get our guys healthy into next football season. I want more time so our guys can get healthier.
John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, 9 to noon, up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Stay tuned. Thanks, JK. When we come back tomorrow, on a Thursday and Friday, and the weekend is near, some more guests and maybe a little trick up my sleeve. I'm working on something, Josh, I haven't told you about. Trying to land a guest that I think would be really super fun and relative this time of year in regard to all the things coming from a sports perspective.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's not a giveaway at all. I don't think so.
No, what could that mean?
Our thanks to DG, who joins us every Wednesday at 8 a.m. He just sent me a text and said, whoa, found the quarter zip. Sent me a picture, and it is stained. He should throw that away.
Nope. Can't do it.
Throw it away. We should auction it off for charity. Who wants it?
See? That's a better idea.
Yeah, nobody wanted that, Brewers. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.